Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall, and it has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and is the inspiration of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week, sponsored by the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. When it comes to Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is a destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment in a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the world, presenting more than 700 performances a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and all of South Florida. They support that LGBTQ plus community and are nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. We're excited to tell you about upcoming shows. And did you know that surveys show that the LGBTQ plus community participates in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts? And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. Eismayer, right? Eismayer, a film from Austria, is about a tough as nails and closeted army sergeant falling for an out recruit. The movie is headed to American screens next month, courtesy of Dark Star Pictures. Based on a true story, the movie follows Sergeant Major Charles Eismayer, a closeted gay man serving as a brutal drill sergeant in the Austrian Army. But then one of the recruits, an openly gay soldier called Mario Falak, enters his life, and a secret passionate romance blossoms. The movie shows Sergeant Eismayer's struggles between the dictates of duty as he's married and a father, and a yearning to be free of the deceit he's been perpetuating. The film comes in a wake of other recent acclaimed gay dramas with military settings, such as Firebird, Moffie, and The Inspection. The Hotspots Queer Entertainment is Austrian film Eismayer tells the story of gay military love. What do you folks think?
I am in.
Interesting topic, right? Like for a movie.
It's like, what you can't do, it's forbidden.
I was raised on army bases.
Were you?
Yeah, from 0 to about 17, 7 different army bases growing up. And there is such a strong tie between the uniform and kind of that hyper masculine, very disciplined sort of personality. And I really think that is the roots also of the leather community, is that it really was kind of born from soldiers coming back from war and these really kind of structured mindsets, and then having to kind of come back and find their way sexually in the world. So I'm definitely going to see this. I don't even care if they make it in English or put subtitles. You don't care. No, you got a bunch of hot guys yelling Austrian at each other. I'm down. I don't even need to know what you're saying.
Subtitles on. You're just like,
you're like, I love it.
Grab the lotion.
Volume up.
Yes.
Subtitles off.
And it sucks because when I first read the description to this movie, of course, we are so hypersexualized that we automatically go, it's like, oh, I saw porn that way, right? Like, I've seen a couple of porn about
military porn.
And the drill sergeant.
Do they make porn of that kind?
Yeah, you're like a top buyer.
Oh, I'll have to Google that.
Yeah, do your research.
No, but I mean, come on, this is history. This is our history, and it's the truth. I mean, with, all those, there's so many military bases on Earth with so many closeted gays there that a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes. People fall in love. It's just part of life.
And it's a big analogy just to real life. How many people are wearing a uniform where, they've been kind of put into a certain life or lifestyle and they have to live by that. So I think that there's a part of every gay person that gets that struggle that they're having in the film.
Yeah, and it also goes back to showing, it's like we've existed. This isn't something that just, came up, 10 years ago with social media. Now everyone's gay, and Drag Queen Story Hour, and now everyone's gay. No, we've existed for centuries.
Forever.
Forever. We've been here. We've always been here. We will always be here. And now these stories are being told.
Yeah.
I mean, these stories are resonating because of that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of the problem, is that when we think about society in general right now, maybe because there are so many more people that are out, that you have to go backwards now in time and say, well, gosh, if this percentage of the population is out, then what happened when only 1% identified in this? It's like, well, they were still there. right?
They
but
still existed.
They still existed. They were still serving in these roles. I think this is going to be interesting because this has a bit of like the Brokeback feeling to it because this isn't just a person who's closeted. They're closeted with like a life, which is actually another resonating that's been happening a lot more in society, which is there are people that are married in like heterosexual appearing relationships that are making these choices and these changes in their lives. And that has, for better or worse, it has repercussions, like major repercussions. So it's interesting because we haven't really seen this a lot portrayed in this type of way. So I'm excited to see this too.
Well, I wanted Cal to go first just to illustrate that two brown men sitting next to each other do not have the same opinions. Oh. So you just said, oh, that's so interesting. I can't wait to see it, or something like that. I am complete opposite of all of you.
What a surprise.
Go figure. Shocker.
So, as soon as I saw this trailer, I was like, again?
What do you mean again? When have you seen this before?
First of all, in the 90s, on the Independent Film Channel and Sundance, every single gay movie had this same theme, which was the masculine profession, whether you were a police officer or military, having some relationship with somebody, that's a gay relationship, and then all their shame for the next hour and a half of their movie.
On what channel have you been seeing this? Are you sure that wasn't porn?
No,
this is Homestead, first of all.
This is the Independent, this is Sundance.
But I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about.
Every movie I ever saw in the 90s about gay people was this story, right? I just went and saw the one with Harry Styles, The Officer, which is the same kind of thing. They just in your blurb, which you were reading, they mentioned like 5 other movies that have this
Firebird,
same theme, and I've seen this over and over again. And I wish that in the movie world that we're promoting like some gay movies or gay characters that have a little bit more to them than just the same trope over and over again.
Well, it's for a newer audience. It's for newer generations. And
but I'm actually
surprised.
Already.
Yeah, but it already existed. But I'm surprised that you would say that, being someone of the arts, because everything that you guys produce on stage is the same crap every single year. It's been done for hundreds of years.
Every arrangement.
So it's the same thing.
I want new things.
And it hasn't changed.
But I want new stuff.
But this is for a newer audience.
Think about this,
a new
right?
storyline.
So, perfect example, right? When we were doing this, even as you were mentioning the movies, right? This also goes back to like, we're forgetting, right now we're talking about a movie in Austria. This is just happening to come to America. So Austria is in the middle of reckoning their own thing. A lot of the European countries right now, they're reckoning with things that America reckoned with 20 years ago.
That's a good point.
And it's very different when you're thinking about all of these different societies because, yes, are we in this new world where we're basically a global world? Sure. So we're going to see content from all over the place. But remember, we're all in different stages now.
Yep.
And we can watch things, perfect example, right? There are things happening in South Korea with theirs where they're starting to tackle LGBT things. They're just now starting. Like, it's just now becoming a thing. Japan, gay marriage isn't a thing there. Even though it's Japan and they're considered like, first world, still not a thing. So like, we're actually in the middle of watching other places process things that even us as a country have still not quite gotten, right? I mean, it's not like, they're still trying to kick trans people and gay people back out of the military here in America. So it's like, although I see what you're saying, we have to also understand that this is part of our global world now. We're seeing the stories from all over these places coming. There's going to be like 1,000 Brokebacks in different countries because people were inspired by Brokeback, but now they're telling their own stories and how
their
it's
own language.
That.
And
I think it's a matter of exposure also.
But to your point, I was just thinking that my first thought too was like this would be good for Saudi Arabia or for Russia. But I was thinking like in America, but there's a good point. It's in a different country and they're reckoning.
Yeah, and I think like I was saying, like it's a matter of exposure because, I'm glad you had that experience in the 90s. I didn't have that experience. My first experience of seeing anything gay on TV was Queer as Folk, and it was because a friend of mine used to videotape it on VHS and then give me the VHS to watch. I didn't have HBO at home because I wasn't allowed to watch HBO. And the first time I ever saw anything gay on a film screen was Brokeback Mountain. And that was what, 10, 15 years ago. So
more like
I never had that
but that's
exposure.
Not kids today.
No, but kids today now like are seeing it.
Everybody's gay.
Everybody's gay.
Everyone, you know, so it's like with social media and everything, like they're exposed at a younger age.
Everybody's
gay.
That's why these stories have to continue to get told over and over, so someone else new is seeing it.
I just want a few more stories that portray us a little bit more multidimensional.
There are a lot more stories, though.
There are. And you haven't seen
to
this
your
movie.
point again. This was a movie in a different country, in a different language, in a different culture and stuff. I guess part of my rant in general, because we had Bros and we had these other things that we talked about.
No, because there's
I just want
people
them to have more dimension.
Okay, so
to
then
who we
write
are.
a freaking movie.
No,
Shut
because
up.
with the bigoted people in this country, that would be like, oh,
I'm not voting for you.
that gays in the military don't exist, you know, and they'll say that really proudly, you know, like because they love their country, they're not gay.
They're in the military.
Like, no,
they
but
can't be
stories
gay.
like this, this is an example of no, gays exist in the
we
military.
have to continue to tell our stories in every single language from every single country. You know, that's the bottom line. Okay, like it or not, we're here, we're queer, and we ain't going.
We're not going
and we ain't
anywhere.
going nowhere.
We're multiplying like gremlins.
Literally.
More like roaches, depends on where you live. And speaking of hotspots queer entertainment, here's a quick glimpse of the venues that are part of the Broward Center.
The Broward Center for the Performing Arts, Parker Playhouse, Aventura Arts and Cultural Center, Rose and Alfred Miniachi Performing Arts Center. 4 venues that together bring a wealth of excitement to our community through the performing arts. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the center for world-class live entertainment, arts education, special events, dining, and more.